Okay, so this is video of our dear leader, King Trump, walking around the grounds of the White House. And what is he up to? The answer will make you want to gag on a 100-foot flagpole, which is also the title of my sex tape. I'm Steve Harness from the Vocal Minority with Nick and Steve for Really American Media. And if you really want to stick it to Trump, help us hit 1 million subscribers right here. So go ahead, click that button. All right, let's go back to this video real quick. Do you see where his henchman is pointing up and down? He's apparently describing how a flagpole would work, which gave Emperor Trump a great idea.
We're putting up a beautiful, almost 100-foot tall American flag on this side and another one on the other side, 2 flags, top of the line.
Yes, you heard it here, folks. While the economy is in turmoil and human rights are being stripped away on a daily basis, felon Trump feels that we need 2 big old flagpoles at the White House because, how else would we know what country that place represents? And it's good to hear that they'll be top of the line. What the hell does that even mean? They'll be perfectly straight and can hold the weight of a flag? Color me impressed. Tell us more, Daddy. Please, sir.
They've needed flagpoles for 200 years. It was something I've often said, they don't have a flagpole per se. So.
Yes, we needed them for 200 years. Well, I guess it's about damn time. So you're telling me back in 1825 when John Adams was president, he said we needed some flagpoles, but nobody could figure out how to do it since then. I guess we were too busy freeing the slaves and walking on the moon to concentrate on making a long stick. Makes sense. And I know Trump is busy destroying America's global reputation, but let's get real here. Has he put any thought into where these poles would even go?
We're putting one right where you saw us, and we're putting another one on the other side on top of the mounds. It's going to be 2 beautiful poles.
Mr. President on China, President Trump on China.
Paid for by Trump.
Did you catch that last part? He says the polls will be paid for by Trump. Now, first of all, it's beyond weird that he refers to himself in the third person. Secondly, I don't believe that for a second. I want to see the receipts. I'm sure we'll get that the day after we see his tax returns and the Epstein files. All of this raises the rather obvious question. Why in the F are we talking about rearranging deck chairs in the Titanic when my 401k is sinking faster than the aforementioned Titanic? I don't see the prices of anything coming down. Or am I just wrong? Am I just fake news?
Americans are seeing prices rise. They're seeing it on their bills. How long can they expect that pain to last?
So they've already seen it get much better because if you were truthful, which you're not, I know you very well, you have gasoline that hit $1.98 yesterday in a couple of states. You have gasoline's way down. The price of oil has dropped substantially. The price of groceries are substantially down. The price of eggs, when I came in, they hit me with eggs. I just got there. I was here for 1 week and they started screaming at me, eggs have gone through the roof. I said, I just got here. I was there for 7 days and I hear that eggs have gone through the roof before I got there. And they were screaming at me, the press, the fake news like you're fake.
The only thing fake in that video is his tan, along with everything coming out of his Diet Coke hole. Trump started a global trade war, has rattled the markets on a daily basis, but we're fake for calling him out. Okay, so what does an actual expert on the topic say?
My judgment is that I'd be surprised if the bottom is yet in with respect to this phase and markets.
How bad could it get?
Oh, I think the likelihood, I think it's more likely than not that we're going to have a recession. And in the context of a recession, we'll see an extra 2 million people be unemployed. We'll see losses in household income that are $5,000 a family or more. We're very likely in the context of a recession to see markets reach levels significantly below their current levels. So I think we could be looking for fairly serious economic problems. And I think it will cast a shadow forward because if we have a recession, the budget deficit will go up. The accumulated debt that we have to deal with will go up. There'll be financial distress that will affect higher risk companies and also higher risk countries in the global economy.
Well, good thing everything he said is apparently fake, because a recession, along with 2 million unemployed Americans and every family losing $5,000 a year when they're already living paycheck to paycheck, seems kind of bad. But if that were true, wouldn't the rich fat cats like Trump also be worried? I mean, the more money you have, the more you stand to lose, right?
Americans are actually the ones that are going to be hurt by this. And I think something really is important here. There's a key phrase that keeps on coming out of the White House. They keep on saying, oh, long-term gain requires short-term pain. You know, I grew up in a working class family. The people that I was raised around lived paycheck to paycheck, much like I did for much of my life when I was growing up. And I learned that when people at the top are talking about short-term pain, they're not talking about themselves. Right? They're talking about working class folks. They're the ones who they want to feel the pain. They're the ones who are living paycheck to paycheck and don't know where their mortgage or their rent's going to come from and are wondering, hey, if prices go up, I'm not going to be able to afford these things. So, you know, this is crazy stuff. We have to figure out a better way of doing this.
That would be Representative Jason Crow out of Colorado, and he is spot on. Trump is willing to play these games because at the end of the day, Trump, Musk, and all the other billionaires in his administration, they get to go home to a mansion and sleep soundly. They are not stressing about paying the bills or putting food on the table like you and I are. But who cares about that stuff? I mean, at least we're getting 2 new flagpoles at the White House. I'm sure even the mega types are okay with everything happening in America right now. Am I right, or am I just right?
Guys, you want to be honest with you? I don't know how many of you guys are invested in crypto or stocks. What the f*** is going on with our country? Guys, why am I poor? Like, what is going on in the world right now? Why the f*** is this going on? Can somebody please explain what's going on? Why are we all losing? Why are we all negative right now? Like, does anybody know why?
Yeah, crypto bro, I do know why. Because we elected a failed businessman, reality TV star, convicted felon, adjudicated rapist, adulterer, sexist, racist con man, who's not allowed to run a charity anymore, but we're letting him run our country like it's a monopoly game and we lost the rules. So we're just winging it. But besides all that, he's perfectly qualified. So thank God we didn't elect someone with a law degree who is a district attorney from a major city, the attorney general of a gigantic state, an elected senator, and a sitting vice president. How unqualified. Can you imagine how bored we'd be right now living a stress-free life where you don't get an ulcer every time a news alert comes across your phone? I mean, seriously. Somewhere out there, there is an alternate universe where Kamala Harris is in the White House and Trump is in the big house, wearing a jumpsuit that matches that fake tan. 2028 cannot come soon enough. In the meantime, stay diligent, stay vocal, and keep it tuned right here for more. I'm Steve Harness from the Vocal Minority with Nick and Steve for Really American Media.